or human double is centuries old. Plutarch, Plato, Aristotle, and Dante all experienced this same kind of projection, being in two places at the same time.
What has this got to do with my son? If it were possible that he was still alive, trying to reach us, why would he quote that book?
He might be reaching out in his agony, trying to contact someone he loved. Consciously or unconsciously, his mind is filled with the words and experiences of Edward Samuels. Professor, I'm convinced that Randy was familiar with Samuel's story, and that it's somehow connected to all this. I thought perhaps you might have one here in your library that Randy may have read.
Yes, we've got a copy here, but that doesn't prove anything.
Then he did read it.
Violet. It was one of his favorite books. He translated it into Chinese. But Tina could have known about that. Might be part of her subconscious.
That may be, but I find it very difficult to just write it off as simply as that in view of what's happened to me. Professor Blake, why isn't it possible that Randy's trying to reach out to Tina, whom he loved, to tell her the truth?
The truth about what?
About what's happened, that he's alive.
That's too unreal.
What's reality, Professor? For us, it's television and heart transplants and putting men on the moon. But 100 years ago, 50 years ago, what was it then? And what will it be 100 years from now? Will what I'm suggesting today be so unreal? Or will it just be taken for granted?
If I accept this just for the moment, how could Pete have seen Randy hit in the head, lying there dead?
Professor, trauma does strange things to people in combat. Perhaps it's only what Pete thought he saw. Or maybe there's some other explanation. Something we're missing.
Dad? Dad, it's me. It's Randy. Dad? Randy. It's me. It's Randy. I've been trying so hard to reach you.
I wish I could be like one of the old samurai warriors who trained their unconscious to ignore death.
How did it happen, Betty?
Do they know who killed your father?
You hated him. You're glad he's dead.
That's not true.
You hated him.
I didn't.
He knew what you were. shallow, uneducated, knew what you'd do to Randy. Stand in the way of his brilliance. Destroy his chances to realize himself. You hated him! You hated him!
Betty, calm down.
Easy, easy.
It's all right.
Okay.
Excuse me for eavesdropping, but that's my job. I'm Sergeant Crowell.
I'm Dr. Rhodes.
Who was that young lady?
Tina Morris.
But you're the ESP fellow at the university.
That's right.
You knew Professor Blake.
Yes, we were both at the university.
You know he was murdered. When was the last time you saw him?
Early yesterday evening, we had been talking about his son. He was missing in action in Vietnam.
Was he expecting anyone else at his house?
No, not to my knowledge. Was this book here when you found him?
Yes. Was? Why?
May I see it?
Well, I suppose so. It's already been dusted for fingerprints. Well, what's with the book?
Oh, nothing. It's just a favorite story of mine.
Dr. Rhodes, Betty will be all right now.
Have you any idea who might have killed Professor Blake?
You're the psychic. You tell me.
Maybe I will.
I think you better stick to your ESP cards, Doctor. Leave this to us.
If you don't need me anymore, I'll be leaving.
Dr. Rhodes, we'll be talking to you.
Hi, Tina. I was hoping you'd be up here. Sorry about the cottage.
How long are you supposed to wait, Doctor? When someone you love dies? A year? 2? I loved Randy, you know. Maybe I still do, I don't know. And then when Pete said he'd broken up with Betty, I didn't want to hurt her.
No, I know you didn't. She's upset, grief-stricken. She'll get over it. You have nothing to feel guilty over.
Don't I? Randy might still be alive.
We don't know that. Not yet.
You know what's strange? Randy might still be alive. And now his father's dead.
Tina, you were supposed to meet me here the other night. What happened?
I decided not to come. I didn't want to go through it all again.
You're here now?
Yeah. Well, it's just to say goodbye to Randy.
Even if he's alive?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know anything anymore. I just want to have someone now, you know?
Yeah. Has anything come to you while you've been up here? Anything at all?
No. No, the feeling's gone.
Maybe there's another way, Tina.
Another way? Doctor, for what?
Do you know what alpha is?
No.
It's a meditative state like yogis or Zen Buddhists have attained. It's been scientifically recorded by EEG in the laboratories. And some people have trained to produce alpha. And while they do it, they greatly increase their ESP potential.
And you want to do that to me?
Well, if it works, It might make you highly receptive. Allow Randy a chance to come through to you.
But why do you need me? Randy came through to you, didn't he?
Yes, he did, but only in distorted and frightening impressions. Not clear enough to explain what Randy's trying to tell us. Tina, I've tried everything to make myself more receptive to Randy, but I've just not been able to succeed. He loved you, loves you, and love since the beginning of time has been known to transcend the flesh.
Hello, Pete.
I thought it...
Tina? I don't think she'll be coming. She's on her way to Dr. Rhodes.
How do you know?
I know.
All right, Betty, what do you want?
Just to talk to you.
Hey, there's nothing to talk about. It's all over.
I don't blame you for wanting Tina instead of me. I guess I always knew it couldn't last between us. That it was wrong somehow.
Betty, there's no point in bringing it up again.
That's not why I came here anyway. Pete, I have to know.
All right, what?
It's been gnawing at me. I wanted to blame Tina, anybody but you, because I still love you. But I can't put it out of my mind any longer.
I don't know what you're talking about.
My father called me just before he was killed. Asked for your number. Said he had to talk to you, wanted to see you. He wouldn't tell me why, just said it was urgent.
Betty, what are you trying to say?
I want you to tell me you didn't go to see him.
I didn't.
Tell me you didn't go to see him.
I just told you.
Look at me in the face and tell me you weren't there. Look at me, Pete.
Will you leave me alone?
Tell me you didn't kill my father.
I didn't kill him.
Can't escape your karma, Pete.
But shut up. I don't want to hear that.
It works equally for good and evil. It's a law of retribution.
Stop it and get out of here.
Tina's going to help Dr. Rhodes. Together they'll learn the truth. You can't stop it. You can't stop the truth, Pete.